Right then, TT TDI this time. So we did start the videos, hopefully going to get both diesels ready at the same time, but what we've decided is we want to test the engine in the Golf before we build it completely and put it in the TT. So this is getting finished last basically. So it's over at the body shop now. We've already painted the inside, we've already painted the engine bay. Before we painted it, we welded these brackets on the suspension and made a strut brace that fitted in the place where a bolt on one would go, but we wanted to make it a bit neater. These carbon panels came quite a while ago from M Composite. I'm not sure if we did any video stuff on that, we probably did. But look how light these are. That's like, I don't know how much it weighs. We'll put up how much it weighs, but it's very, very light compared to standard doors. Even gutted, these doors are quite heavy. So, should make a big difference. Need to get as much weight out of this as we can because we're going to be trying to compete against the petrol TT that's got 340 horsepower. We can only have about 325 if we're at the same weight. Hopefully we can get the weight down so that 300-ish is where we need to be, and we can get that power and keep it cool at that power. So that's a plan anyway. Might not work, then we'll just have to go down a class and see, but I'd like to be running it top class in this and have two TTs battling. So the next thing the body shop need to do, the bonnet's ready to go. Just getting onto doing the roof, stuff like that. I'll just try not to smash my carbon door up. Sides getting sorted, just little bits where there's dents and just where the wrap's been on for years and been chopped and messed about with. Yeah, loads of little bits to do. We'd already repaired these arches last year. Not the prettiest thing until they're covered up, but it'll be fine. Trying to think what else. Yeah, it's had a fair amount of work on this side as well. Yeah, they're on weight. We're going to try and get this done as quick as we can and then start building it again, but this one's sort of, I won't say the least rush, but we'll see how tomorrow goes for testing the Golf before we start throwing this all together and getting the engine in and stuff like that. But there's tons of wiring to do in this. It's all starting from scratch again. Diesel lube. We've converted it to a manual as well, so we've got a gearbox to build. There's just tons of stuff to do. The other three cars are pretty much sorted now, or they should be. But then we're going to have to see how we get on with the rest of the stuff. So yeah, keep checking back. So we're at the dusty body shop now. The car's all panelled up, ready to rock. You can see we've had to obviously prime everything, get it all keyed, ready. Make any blemishes in the paint will still be visible in the wrap, so we've got to get it something like, don't need to be perfect, which is why we're doing it. Yeah, so it's going to be same colour scheme as the other TT, so gloss black, 3M wrap, and hot rod red 3M, which we matched our paint on the other car to that wrap, so that worked out all right. So yeah, I've got a few ideas how we're going to sort of fade this in rather than it just being crisp edges on the carbon, but we'll see how it all looks when it starts coming together. So let the lads get cracking with this. While this is all getting cut out ready, we're going to sort of put it on the plotter and cut it somewhat light rather than just big sheets. We're going to get some PPF on this, so it needs a polish at the minute, but we're going to get the front done, most of the front bumper if we can, and then it's too late for this side, but the other side is going to get some wrap, some PPF on here and all the side skirts. And then as well, we've had a bit of trouble last year with the windscreens getting chipped and cracked, so we're putting some windscreen protector on here as well, which is the same thing as the PPF pretty much. Yeah, going to get that on, and then when the Golf gets its new screening, that'll get some on. When this car gets its new screening, that'll get it on as well. So yeah, that should help. Sort of, it's going to cost a bit of money up front, but it should save some money because these screens are £300 quid, and it's a bit of a job getting them in and out. So yeah, that should be pretty good. So we'll leave them to it anyway. I'm rattling on a little bit. See how we get on.
Nice.
So, not sure what footage we've got of what Paul's been doing and what order it's all going in, because there's been a lot happening with this, and I know how annoying it is trying to point a camera at stuff and do it, and then camera goes off and you need a battery, so it is quite annoying, but YouTube's. So, what we have here is revision 2 of our billet inlet manifold. We've got 2 of them because, if you look here, we've gone super thick on this flange, but because of these angled holes, you can't just space this out. We're really tight for room here, so we made this thicker so that when it's warped, because it will warp, then we can face it down to the right thickness and it'll not leak like the Golf one does a tiny bit. So that should work out. So we've got 2 of them. Ridiculous how much these bits have ended up costing just because of fixtures and how to hold them and all that sort of stuff. But we're making things better all the time. Spare one of these as well, just for billetness. That'll go back on shelf. We'll wheel this over to Tom and maybe watch him welding it and then get it milled, get it installed. So as you can see, a lot's changed as well. Pretty much most of the front end's built up now, ready for the radiator, the intercooler putting on the top when the inlet's on, and then Dan can make the boost pipes, that's another job. Got the gear shifter cables all in, everything's all nice and coated and sorted. Downpipes there ready to go on. Inside's looking more like a car. A lot going on in there. Spoiler's disappeared somewhere and a wing's gone because we're 3D scanning it for some reason. And then what Paul's doing at the minute, we've just used some Raychem heat shrink and shrunk all the wiring. It'd be nice to be doing concentric twisting and all that stuff, but that ain't going to happen with that stuff, is it, Paul? It's just not going to happen. So, sorted that out, and then at the minute, he's just soldering wires onto these sensors, and then we've got some epoxy potting compound, whatever it is, it's kicking about somewhere. It's there, this stuff, 2-part adhesive gun, so yeah. Squirt that in there, and then they'll never shake loose, and then we've got remote mounted connectors here like these ones, so then they can be tie wrapped up, so because we had a lot of problems with the contact pins in these sensors and the metering valve, they just, all the vibrations make them work loose, which I think making the wiring a bit more secure makes that a little bit worse, but we've had it with the standard looms as well, so we're sort of, this is making it chemical proof basically and taking the abrasion a lot better, and then this makes it a lot better with the vibration. So a lot of work, many hours, Paul? Many hours. But we don't ever want to have wiring based failures, and I don't think since we went to this sort of method we haven't, have we? So, but running factory stuff, if you don't do anything it works, but once you start securing things up a bit different it don't work. So this is why we've done this. Anyway, we'll keep playing, hopefully Paul keeps recording, things will be good. Yeah. Cheers, Paul.
So another race car finished. This one might look a lot like the petrol one and you're probably struggling to see the differences, but there are some. If you look closer, the doors on this are carbon. We've got a nice fade going into the black to make that a little bit seamless. The spoiler's a little bit different. Really happy with how this has come out. It's like a floating swan neck spoiler. We've had to do that because obviously there's no real rigidity in the carbon boot lid. It looks really good. I think this, the Golf and the other TT all together are going to look pretty sweet, either on track days or if they're racing or whatever. Yeah, I think they're going to look really good. So that's the last one, that's the last piece of the puzzle. All the cars are now either wrapped, painted, they're all finished. We've got the first race this weekend at Croft for the 750 Motor Club Road Sport and the Club Enduro. So fingers crossed we don't have any accidents. All the cars are looking nice. It'd be a real shame if we did any damage to them. So fingers crossed. We spent a lot of time to get the diesel engine in this TT. We've done a little bit of testing, but probably not as much as we wanted to. But the engine's in, it's running sweet. We know the chassis is good because we ran this one as a petrol last year and it did really well. So hopefully with the diesel engine, the TT chassis, we have a good season. So yeah, fingers crossed. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.